Welcome to the SEO.co Search Engine Optimization Podcast. Digital marketing essentials and next level tactics. From offsite and on-site optimization to persuasive selling and everything in between. You'll learn actionable tips on what it takes to outright and outrank your competition.
WordPress versus Webflow. Which CMS should I use to develop my website? With many different options available to build a website, it is important to take a closer look at some of them. By doing a thorough comparison, we hope that you will be able to determine which one of these two will be a better fit for your needs. If you're already looking at one of these two as your web builder of choice, then you probably have some idea of what you need. What it will likely come down to is one of the key factors that differentiates one from the other. Introduction to Webflow and WordPress. Even though they have some similarities, both of these website building platforms have several key differences. To help make your pick easier, we'll introduce you to each one before we compare the criteria. WordPress. Even though modern users may not be aware, WordPress is one of the oldest web building platforms currently available. Having been launched in 2003, WordPress has been around for many years and as such has had many updates, improvements, changes, and extensions added to it. They are the dominant force in the web building space. WordPress controls nearly 40% of the market share. This gives them impressive reach and notoriety as well as the ability to update and change at a more rapid pace. Because WordPress has been around for so long, there are several third-party partnerships with WordPress. These partnerships offer tools and extensions for tweaking your website, creating content, optimizing for search engines, and more. We should note that throughout its evolution, WordPress has become less of a web building service and more of a content management service platform. This allows users to create and manage websites, blogs, e-commerce sites, and more. As such, much of the functionality has been geared towards content management. Webflow is a relative newcomer to the space and shares the market with other platforms like Weebly and Squarespace. It was founded in 2013 in San Francisco, California, and is one of the fastest-growing web building services on the web. One of the ways that Webflow differs from WordPress is in the fact that Webflow is a SaaS platform and not a hosting site itself. Webflow has also distinguished itself by the use of its visual website editor that lets users see in real time what their site will look like. They are powered by Amazon's CloudFront and have become a favorite of both amateur and expert users as well as many web design services. The builder also auto-generates its HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, giving coders and web developers plenty to play around with. Picking a website builder rather than go with a flat set of criteria, as many comparison reviews do, we're going to base our criteria on the relative skill level of the user. We'll explain each criterion and how it will impact users of different skill levels. Ease of use, beginner to intermediate. If you are completely new to building a website or have only a moderate amount of experience, perhaps you've written a blog or used a template to create a web page, then ease of use is an important criterion when considering which website builder to go with. This includes the tools available, the user interface, and how easy it is to get started building without a lot of technical know-how. There is a fairly sharp learning curve with the most recent iteration of WordPress. This curve requires you to understand both a glossary of terms for WordPress as well as their block editor system known as Gutenberg. The actual interface is visual, and with the block system, editing sections of your site as you start building is fairly simple. WordPress uses a template design system whereby a user picks a pre-designed template for their website, consisting of a style and color scheme. They then can edit sections of it as they choose. This allows for quick and simple creation of pages including the homepage, blogs, and additional pages. WordPress also allows hosting of a site through their domain service, which provides a unique WordPress URL to each user's site. Users can also purchase and register their own domain names as well. There are two notable caveats with the building process and user interface. Firstly, many of the additional creation features are accessible via paying members only. This shouldn't be much of an issue for professionals, but it does add considerably to the price tag, particularly if you opt to purchase a domain instead of using a free one. Secondly, casual and professional users alike have noted that the block editor system has some limitations in terms of formatting content, producing source code, and general editing, which has necessitated the use of third-party extensions. Webflow uses a similar visual editing process to that of WordPress. One of the unique features is that Webflow has a blank canvas mode for more experienced developers, as well as a free template mode. The templates are fairly standard stuff with the options divided by intended use. There are more paid premium options than free templates, so that may throw off some beginner builders. Webflow uses a real-time update system that lets you see what your site will look like once you publish it and make it go live. The dashboard interface is also fairly easy to navigate, and the site is divided into sections which can each be customized one at a time. Where Webflow can become tricky is when trying to manipulate the elements of your site for content. If the template isn't laid out for your specific needs, you will need to manipulate elements until they are in your desired position or layout. You can likely find something close to what you want for free or in the paid section. Keep in mind that you'll be figuring out where to place everything and how to insert content as you go. The last thing to mention is that you'll have to use a third party to host your site or host it yourself with Webflow. This is likely a plus to experienced developers, but beginners may find it annoying. Webflow does offer web hosting from one of their partners though. The winner, WordPress. This was a close one for us. When it came down to using the block editor system or not finding a template that works for your business, we decided the block editor was easier to use. This was in addition to the numerous built-in tutorials and drop-downs that explain much of the process. Before you set out to build your site, you may want to consult with an expert and at least learn some of the website design mistakes to avoid. Flexibility. Intermediate to expert. This criterion is a measure of how easy it is for more experienced designers and coders to alter the basic functions of the website builder to suit their needs. This includes manipulating elements, adding features, and generally adding flair to your site. WordPress. The template system is perfectly fine and the block editor is easy enough to use once you get the hang of it. Experienced builders may find that they feel boxed in by the Gutenberg editor that WordPress uses. Many pros simply hate the block editor when it comes to manipulating large chunks of text for content and moving elements around on the actual site. The interface can feel a bit clunky also because of the editor. You can disable the editor with the use of add-on extensions, but the ability to use those comes at a premium of $300 for a business plan membership. You can freely edit the code of your pages, but the output is a bit tricky to manipulate due to the layout used by the Gutenberg editor. Where WordPress excels in this category is by volume of offerings. However, that is cut short by the fact that many themes, plugins, and features are only available as separate purchases. Webflow is similar to WordPress in the way that sites are built, with one key difference. The built-in navigator helps you edit your site accurately and shows you the result in real time. With a little practice, you can edit to your heart's content and know in real time what you're getting. Unfortunately, Webflow also suffers from the same price blocking of key features and services that WordPress uses. The overall pricing structure is much more transparent and user-friendly. Webflow uses tiered plans that unlock specific features at each tier. If one plan doesn't have the option you need, then you'll be forced to upgrade to a higher tier plan or do without it. The tiered plans do offer more transparency than the myriad of options available through WordPress. This makes putting out extra money more palatable as users can see exactly what they are getting. The winner, Webflow. This one wasn't as close as we thought it would be. When we looked at the customization options, WordPress had the win. However, when we factored in the editing ability and the extra costs associated with various features, we felt Webflow was the better option. We also thought about the difference between WordPress as a hosting service versus Webflow as a software package that can be taken anywhere. We felt the additional freedom had some value. Price. All skill levels. We've already talked a bit about price, but this is an issue for many users. What am I getting and what will it cost me? We've broken this down as best we can without diving into every little fee and cost associated with each platform. WordPress has two primary costs associated with it. the hosting cost and the add-on cost. The most basic plan on WordPress comes out to $4 a month but offers limited storage and no extra features. The second tier is Premium, which comes out to $8 a month or $96 annually and comes with some marketing tools and more storage. The business plan is the third tier and costs $25 monthly or $300 annually and comes with a whole host of marketing and support tools as well as the ability to install plugins to your site.
Thank you for joining us on the SEO.co podcast. We appreciate your time. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the show and visit SEO.co for more resources based on today's topic, as well as access to more podcast episodes to help you improve your site's long-term SEO success.